Are you stuck with a potato of a computer and can't 3D art to your heart's content? Well, stick around, I may have a solution. So in this episode, I'll be talking about renting a computer online for as little as $1.29 for a pro computer, and whether I'm going to be buying new computers in the future or renting them. So recently I got contacted by a company called Vagon, and they offer pro computers for as little as $1.29, and you can run this through your browser. So you can have something like a tablet or a Chromebook, and you can, through your browser, work on a computer that's much more powerful than obviously your tablet or Chromebook. So you log on to the Vagon site and you'll have a list of computers there that you can choose from, obviously varying in price range, but they're all pro computers and some are very powerful indeed. You then download and install your software much like you own that computer, and you've got some storage space on there as well, and you can drag and drop files. You've also got a really fast internet connection with that computer. Obviously it depends on your connection to that computer, but that computer itself, when it's downloading things, has a very fast connection, up to 2 gigabytes. So all your computer that you're on is doing, let's say the Chromebook or tablet, is just talking to this much faster computer that you're using for its power and its internet access as well. So the only thing you're doing is streaming the video from that computer to your screen, and using your screen or your computer, tablet or whatever it is as an input device. So it even works with graphics tablets, obviously a mouse or a keyboard, and you're just communicating with this super fast computer, and you've got a potato computer here, and it will work really well. What's also nice about this is when you think your project needs a bit more power, let's say you've got smoke simulations or you're starting to do some sculpting, then you say, right, I'll switch on the more powerful computer now, and you can just log into that, start using the more powerful computer. Obviously you still have to install the programs again onto this more powerful computer, but you can switch between them really easily and do all that cool, excellent 3D work that you want to do. Switch back to the other one when you're doing less powerful work, let's say, and you can just jump between them to save you money. Obviously if you're rendering, you can go to the more powerful one, and they've got lots of plans in the future to expand this service to offer sort of rendering things as well. So they've given me a free pass to try out their computers, and I'll be seeing whether it's worth renting out or buying your own system. Now if you need it, Vagon have a explainer video to help you through and guide you through how to get on and make your own computer. Also, since making this video, Vagon have updated a few things and changed a few things. Their feedback is in the description. You can also look at the comments section, and if they post a comment, then I'll make sure I pin it in there. So there's links in the description to Vagon's site, and there's a promo code. Type in Grant Abbott and you get 1 hour of free usage and 50 gigabits of storage. There is a limited number, so try and get in there quickly. It's definitely worth checking out and testing out for yourselves. So here you can see me logging into the site and creating a new computer, and I called it the Grantius. Now here there's an option to actually choose the type of computer you want. I actually missed that on the right hand side and ended up using the really powerful one, which was quite fun. And I connect to my computer. It's just like a normal computer now, as if it's been loaded for the first time. Here's my internet speed, so that's 50 megabits per second, and then I tried through the computer to see what their internet speed was, and it's over a gig. So I then downloaded Blender and installed that. I used 2.9. That downloaded nice and quickly with their 1 gigabit internet connection. And then you can obviously install programs onto the computer, but Blender's great and I can just open the file from here and run it. Obviously I'm time-lapsing what I do here, so I've sped things up just because I don't want to bore you. But I did want you to show the whole process so you can see that it's actually really simple. I put an icon on the desktop and ran it. And I wanted to experiment with the stream preferences, so you can put up the speed for your own connection. So this is based on the computer's connection that you've got in your hand that you're controlling, not the one online. So if you've got different internet speeds, you can have different quality of streaming. I went into Blender. The first thing I noticed was the mouse wheel was the wrong way around, and I couldn't figure out how to change that. I forgot to ask them actually. And that's worth noting, the team have been really exceptional. It's still in beta, this whole program, so there's going to be a few bugs, and that was the first one that I noticed. But I can imagine for Mac users that's absolutely fine because that's what they're used to. I thought I'd go straight into sculpting something on quite a high resolution, just for a bit of fun. And the next thing I noticed was there was a few buttons that weren't quite working for me. So my shift button for the smooth brush wasn't working, which made it a little bit tricky to sculpt. They say they've fixed that now. And the amazing thing here is that I'm working on my Mobile Studio Pro, so I'm working on a device that they weren't sure whether it was going to be compatible or not. Again, they haven't been able to test everything, and it worked pretty seamlessly. There was just the odd occasion where the viewport sort of jumped really slightly when I was circling around my object, or a brush strokes went slightly in the wrong direction. But this was pretty rare, and it was actually a really nice experience. If it hadn't been for the shift button, I would have been really impressed. The other thing that was a bit tricky was the fact that I set up my pen button to middle click to move around my viewport, so I had to emulate 3-button mouse, and I wasn't really used to that. So that's the excuse for not such a great sculpt. So currently there's 3 options of computers. There's a 4-core with 30 gigabits of RAM and an 8 gigabit graphics card for $1.29 per hour, and then it goes up from there, 16 cores, 122 gigabits of RAM. Same graphics card for $2.49 per hour, and then the Apollo, which is 32 cores, 244 gigabits worth of RAM, 2 8GB GPUs, and that's $5 per hour. And that was the one I was using. I did do a couple of render tests, and you can see here obviously the Vagon computer on the right hand side here. Now at the moment the render tests aren't particularly useful to us because actually the best computer you can rent has 2 8GB cards in it, so it's not immensely powerful when it comes to rendering, although it's much faster than my GTX 1070. It's much more about the usability when you're actually doing things like sculpting or rather than actually rendering. I would suggest you're more likely to go to a render farm with your files rather than using this as the render device. Certainly for sort of large renders or renders of large animations. They have got lots of plans in the future as well for upgrading so that you can upgrade your computer and have it exactly how you want it. So I do think this is a really good idea. Whether I'm going to be switching to the rented sort of platform or whether I'm just going to buy a computer myself, I haven't really decided. I am in the market for a new computer at the moment, and it is very tempting to go online and just rent this computer, but I don't think it's quite there for me yet. There's lots of things I use, so lots of input devices that could get a bit awkward, like my microphone here and my camera. Uploading video files could be a bit of a pain. So I think it's not quite there for me, but if I was solely using Blender, or if maybe I was starting a company up and wanted to get a few recruits in and not sure whether it was going to work, and they're all going to work on these powerful machines, instead of buying a load of machines, I think I would rather rent them out and see how it went with the company first. So there's lots of options here, and I do think this is the future of computing, because it's much better if you've got a reasonable internet connection to connect into a computer that does all the hard work, and you don't have to buy this huge base unit and sort out all the problems with it when it goes wrong. We already have cloud storage for our files, so why not just use the whole thing online? And it's a great idea for those that are quite mobile. As long as you've got access to a good internet connection, you can take around just a simple Chromebook and still be able to access all your programs with a really powerful PC so you can work on the go. I don't think I'm going to be changing across to this system yet. I don't think it's quite there for me, and maybe it's just my sort of traditional approach and wanting to have a base unit and wanting to own the computer myself, but maybe that's a mindset that I need to get over. But I really do see an awful lot of potential in this. So do go onto the website, check it out. There'll be links in the description and a promo code so you can try it out for free and see what you think. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.